smoking is about 750 billion pesos a year. Eh magkano bang kinikita natin? Mga 150 billion a year. Walang paraan na talunin ito ng ating kinikita dahil sa tobacco. Next please. So yan po yung apila namin. Mr. Chair, tuwang-tuwa po kami na sinabi niyong tutol kayo sa rollbacks ng tobacco. Sana maintindihan ito ng mga kasama nating dito sa tobacco industry. Eh ilan sa mga tobacco company, sila na nga ang nagsabi na gusto na nilang pababain ang dami ng naninigarilyo. Ngayon, ibababa na naman natin ang buwis sa tobacco at pararamihin na naman natin ang mga naninigarilyo sa Pilipinas. Hindi ba parang tinitinda natin ang buhay ng Pilipino para sa kita ng isa lang na industriya? So, ito pong, next please. Ito po yung mga iba-iba hong mga signature ng iba-iba. No? Babasahin po ni Dr. Mateo mamaya yung amin petition. Ang petition po namin, ibasura na yung 11360 kung di man yung provisions nito tungkol sa tobacco. Nangangamba po kami kasi kayang-kaya i-railroad during the bicameral committee meeting. Magugulat na lang tayo na biglang nandun, despite your objections, isang boto lang din po kayo, hindi ba? O, despite your objections, pwedeng maipasa ang rollbacks ng tobacco tax. So, ang hiling po namin, Mr. Chair, sa inyo, dati naman ho kayong naninindigan para sa kalusugan at nagpapasalamat kami sa paninindigan nyo ngayon and in the past. Manindigan ulit na ibasura ng tobacco tax na ito dahil nandyan nakatago ang mga provision para ibenta ang kalusugan ng mga Pilipino para sa income ng isang industriya sa ating bayan. Babasahin po ni Dr. Mateo yung sulat with your indulgence, Mr. Chair.
Yeah, go ahead.
So this is the statement from the leaders of healthcare professional organizations. Yeah, we urgently call our Senate Ways and Means Committee Chair, Senator Win Gatchalian, to filmly reject House Bill 11360, the bill that lowers current excise taxes on tobacco products. House Bill 11360 lowers the annual increase of tobacco excise tax rates from 5% every year to an average of 3% every year. It makes cigarettes cheaper and more accessible, especially to the vulnerable youth and the poor. As providers of care who see the burden borne by tobacco and vape-related diseases on our patients every single day, we find it reprehensible that our government is fast-tracking a bill which will lead to almost 2 million new smokers from 2025 to 2035. Many of these smokers come from the youth, and half of them will die from tobacco-related diseases in the future. The lives of our patients and our children will be sacrificed for the interest of the tobacco industry. House Bill 11360 will deliver a devastating blow not only to health, but also to revenue. It will lead to at least 167 billion pesos in foregone tobacco tax revenues from 2025 to 2035. 40% of those revenues are allocated towards implementing universal health care. Lowering tobacco taxes will not solve the problem of illicit tobacco trade. Global literature shows that illicit tobacco trade is combated effectively through enforcement and not through lowering of tax rates. In the end, the beneficiary of this rollback is neither the government nor the people. The only beneficiary will be the tobacco industry. Senator Gatchalian, Your Honor, the lives of millions are at stake. We seek your support to reject House Bill 11360 to live up to your reputation as champion of health and of the youth. This will be a true act of heroism that the Filipino people and the healthcare workers will never forget. Signed by the organization that were flashed on screen. Thank you po.
Thank you, Dr. Mateo. Well, this is the Committee on Ways and Means, no? And our job is to make sure that the revenue of government constantly increases and as much as possible, and look for new sources of revenue. Excise tax on tobacco is one. No? And what we are after in the committee is to combat and eliminate illicit trade. No? Illicit trade is the one creating a lot of problems for our country in terms of revenue collection and in terms of health outcomes. No? Illicit trade is the devil, no, in our country. Now, that's why I flashed on the screen earlier recommendations that we found out through the 3 hearings that we conducted, and to include prosecution, the legal aspect. Meron tayong enforcement aspect, may legal aspect, so that we will have an effective mechanism to combat illicit trade. And in those hearings, we did not see that lowering down taxes can combat illicit trade effectively. What we should right now enforce and fund is the enforcement side of illicit trade. That's why we are even open to funding the different enforcement agencies such as DTI, BIR, and the task force on illicit trade from the BIR is a good suggestion that we might, during the budget deliberation, we might put together and fund it so that we will have a full-time composite team to combat illicit trade. Yan talaga ang objective natin. Now, having said that, during the hearing, I mentioned earlier that we found that the arbitrage or the difference between freebase and nicotine is creating creating problems and also incentivizing technical smuggling in our country. And that's what we want to stop. That's why, if there, to address Dr. Dan's comment earlier, habang ako po ang chairman ng Committee on Ways and Means, hindi ko papayagan na maipasok yung cigarette component in the bicameral conference committee. If, with all due respect to our counterparts, and let me put this on record to our House counterparts, kung yan ang i-insist nila, mag-usap na lang tayo sa 20th Congress. Because we will not allow that. What we are after right now is to increase or make or come up with a unitary tax system for vape products. Kasi yun yung talagang obvious na lumabas sa aming mga hearings. So, yun nga, nasabi ko nga, I checked with the committee secretary, wala kasing nag-file ng vape, unitary tax system of vape products here in the Senate and also in the House. And we cannot move without any legislation or any bill transferred or transmitted from the House to the Senate. For the Ways and Means, we have to always wait for the House counterpart. Pero pagdating dito, pwede naming i-tweak or i-amend. No? Depende sa usapan na during the hearings. That's why we have hearings, no? So that we can hear everyone. So that is our ruling as chair of this committee. All right. So, Dr. Limpin, is your presentation ready? So we can discuss that.
Thank you, Your Honor. First and foremost, I'd like to thank for this committee, especially Your Honor, in inviting us to this hearing. I am Dr. Maria Encarnita Blanco Limpin, the Executive Director of Action on Smoking and Health Philippines. I am a practicing internist, pulmonologist, and critical care physician. And dahil po dito sa trabaho ko na ito, nakikita ko po kung ano ang nagiging epekto ng paninigarilyo at ng pagve-vape sa ating mga kababayan. I am here not just to represent the healthcare practitioners, but I am also here to represent and give a voice to the thousands of victims of tobacco and vape who have actually died, those who are also still suffering, and those who have also been lured into this lifetime addiction. So, can I have my first slide? Ito pong slide nito ay napakita na po